Have you ever caught your reflection in a store window or mirror and wondered, do I still have that spark? Maybe you felt invisible walking into a room, or someone commented on how well you look for your age, and you weren't sure whether to take it as a compliment or not. Let me tell you something right off the bat. Just because the world doesn't shout it from the rooftops doesn't mean it isn't true. You might be a beautiful older woman and not even realize just how much you glow. Now, beauty at our age. Real. Beauty isn't about wrinkle-free skin or a size 2 waistline. It's not about chasing youth. It's about presence, confidence, grace. It's in the way you carry yourself, the energy you bring into a room, and the light that still lives in your eyes. And while you might not hear it often, there are subtle, powerful signs that you are still, without a doubt, a good-looking woman, regardless of what the magazines or Instagram might say. So today, we're going to talk about those signs. The kind that don't always get noticed out loud, but are deeply felt. You may not realize you're turning heads or inspiring others, but trust me, you are. And by the end of this video, you might just see yourself a little differently, more clearly, more kindly. Let's start with something you might not even think of as a sign of beauty, but it absolutely is. And that's how people respond when you smile. You see, as we age, we sometimes stop smiling as much. Life throws a lot at us. We lose people, routines change, and sometimes we're simply too tired. But when a woman over 60 smiles, genuinely, there's something magnetic about it. People around you soften, they listen, they lean in. That kind of warmth, the kind that can shift the mood in a room or make someone's day brighter without saying a word. That's beauty. If your smile still makes others feel comfortable, safe, or even a little happier, that's a sign you've still got it inside and out. You may not wear bright lipstick anymore, or maybe you do. But the beauty isn't in the gloss, it's in the connection behind it. If people react to your smile like it means something, that's no accident. And then there's this. Do you ever notice that younger women watch you when you walk by, not with judgment but curiosity? Admiration even. Maybe it's in the way you dress, comfortable but elegant. Maybe it's how you speak, calm, clear, with wisdom. That quiet confidence that you've earned over decades can be incredibly attractive. People sense it, they respect it, and whether you realize it or not, it shows. It radiates. So often, women over 60 assume that the attention is gone, that their beauty is no longer noticed. But the truth is, it's just become more refined, quieter, but no less powerful. That's the second sign. You carry yourself in a way that draws people in. You don't need to demand attention, you simply get it, and that's the difference between youthful beauty and mature beauty. One is loud, the other is steady. One tries to be seen, the other just is. Another sign you're still a good-looking woman, you haven't stopped caring for yourself, even in the smallest ways. Maybe you still get your hair done, even if it's just a quick trim or a little touch-up. Maybe you like to wear soft scarves, or you make sure your earrings match your top. That little extra effort, that attention to detail, it's not about vanity, it's about self-respect, and people notice it. You may not hear compliments every day, but trust me, people see it, they feel it. It tells the world, I matter, I take care of me. And that, at any age, is beautiful. You might not be looking for compliments or attention, and that's okay. But beauty often lives in how you treat yourself. If you move through your day with intention, even if it's just applying moisturizer, in the morning or making your bed, those small acts of love toward yourself create a glow that others can't always put into words, but they notice. Because beauty, especially as we grow older, isn't just skin deep. It's layered, it's soulful, and it's often woven into how you make other people feel. Let's talk about that inner calm you've developed over the years. If people around you often say things like, I feel better just talking to you, or you always know the right thing to say, that's not just kindness. It's beauty. A peaceful presence in a chaotic world is rare, and it's magnetic. When you've lived through ups and downs, heartbreaks and triumphs, and you still approach the world with a steady hand and an open heart, that shows. You glow differently. Your beauty doesn't scream. It soothes. It welcomes. Younger women might rush to wear the trendiest clothes or follow the latest beauty hack, but what you have is timeless. Your calm, your wisdom, the way you carry yourself, that's what people gravitate toward. It's like sitting in the sunshine on a cool morning, quiet, but undeniably powerful. And speaking of power, have you noticed how you speak your mind more than you used to? How you're not afraid to say no when something doesn't feel right. That self-assuredness, that ability to stand firm without being unkind, that is incredibly attractive. If you're someone who no longer bends just to make others comfortable, who respects her own time and space, that's a kind of confidence most people spend a lifetime trying to reach. There's something about a woman who knows herself, who isn't trying to be anyone else. She walks differently. She holds her gaze longer. She doesn't chase attention, and yet it seems to follow her anyway. If you've reached a point in your life where you know your worth, where you no longer rely on outside validation to feel good about yourself, that alone makes you shine. Let's also talk about your style. Not the kind in magazines, but the kind that's all your own. Maybe you love flowy fabrics that feel soft on your skin, or maybe you've always had a knack for wearing just the right colors that bring out the glow in your cheeks. Even if you've simplified your wardrobe over the years, you probably still take pride in looking put together. If people often compliment how elegant you look, even when you're not trying too hard, that's not a coincidence. That's a result of years of knowing what works for you. Beauty, especially after 60, is often about harmony. When your clothes, your posture, and your energy all align effortlessly. That kind of personal style is unforgettable, and it doesn't rely on trends. It comes from understanding yourself. And here's another powerful sign you may overlook. People feel seen when they're with you. Maybe it's the way you ask questions and really listen to the answers, or the way you make people feel like they matter, no matter their age or background. That kind of attentiveness creates a beauty that isn't just visual, it's emotional. People remember how you made them feel long after the conversation is over. If you're the type who can hold eye contact, offer encouragement, or simply share a warm silence without awkwardness, that emotional presence is beautiful. It creates comfort, trust, and connection, and that's something many people crave but rarely find. What's more, if you've become more playful or witty with age, if you can laugh at yourself, share a clever joke, or bring lightness to serious moments, that is a sign of beauty too. There's something irresistible about a woman who doesn't take herself too seriously. If your laughter is genuine, if your sense of humor feels like a breath of fresh air, that draws people in. A good laugh shared with someone who's been through life and still chooses joy, that's one of the most beautiful things in the world. Now, let's talk about posture. You might not realize how much it says about you, but it does. If you still walk tall, shoulders back, head high, that communicates strength and pride. Even if your body has changed, as all bodies do with age, the way you age. And speaking of a richer kind of beauty, let's talk about the presence you leave behind. Have you ever noticed that after you've left a room, people seem to keep talking about something you said, or they refer to your wisdom later on? That's not just because of what you said, it's because of who you are. When your presence lingers in the hearts and minds of others, that's a powerful sign of your beauty. You don't have to say much, you don't have to dominate a conversation, but your words and your energy stick with people. That kind of impact doesn't come from outer looks, it comes from inner light, and it's unforgettable. Let's be honest, youth is admired for its surface glow, but age is respected for its depth. If you find people opening up to you, seeking your opinion, or wanting to spend time around you, not because of what you have, but because of who you are, that's beauty. Quiet, steady, magnetic beauty, and sometimes beauty shows itself in the most surprising ways, like how you've learned to embrace your flaws. Maybe you have laugh lines or grey hair or hands that tell the story of a life lived fully. But instead of hiding those things, you've grown to accept them, even celebrate them. That's incredibly powerful. When a woman owns who she is, every so-called imperfection becomes a mark of strength, of grace, of resilience. You might not see that in the mirror right away, but believe me, others do. Think about it. A woman who has lived, loved, cried, raised children, built a career, or simply shown up day after day for the people she loves. That woman wears her experience like a crown. And if you've learned to look at your reflection and say, "This is me, and I'm proud of what I've become," that self-acceptance shines brighter than any makeup ever could. Have you ever noticed how people feel comfortable being themselves around you? That they don't feel the need to impress or pretend. That's because you've created a space where authenticity is welcomed, and only someone who is deeply grounded, deeply beautiful in spirit, can do that. If your energy tells others, "You can breathe here," that's rare and that's breathtaking. Now here's something many women don't realize. When you've reached a place in life where you no longer feel the need to compete with other women, when you can compliment another woman without jealousy, support her without insecurity, that's a major sign of beauty. If you've become someone who uplifts others, celebrates their wins, and offers encouragement without expecting anything in return, your heart is beautiful. And a beautiful heart shows on your face, in your smile, in the way your eyes light up when you're genuinely happy for someone else. That kind of beauty doesn't age. It evolves. It becomes deeper, richer, more inspiring. You see, the most beautiful older women aren't necessarily the ones with the best skin or the most youthful figure. They're the ones who've grown into themselves, who've made peace with the past, embraced who they are today, and look forward to what's still to come. If that sounds like you, even just a little bit, then you're already more stunning than you probably give yourself credit for. And let's not forget one final powerful truth. You're still growing, still evolving, still learning new things about yourself. That willingness to keep going, to keep showing up, to keep loving and living and laughing, that is beauty in motion. It doesn't stand still. It dances. It softens. It shines. So let me ask you something, heart to heart. How often do you actually stop to recognize these things in yourself? When was the last time you looked at yourself not through the lens of age or comparison or criticism, but through the lens of love? Because if even one of the signs we've talked about today sounded like you, then you are a beautiful older woman, even if the world doesn't say it enough, even if you don't always see it, even if you've spent years believing other